and welcome back to Vlogmas. It is what will be the last week of Vlogmas. Today is the 19th, I think. That sounds about right. Christmas is right around the corner, and I think the last time I checked in, I had plans of knitting a hot water bottle cover for my family's white elephant gift exchange and spinning some yarn for my sister for her Christmas gift. So just wanted to do a little progress report. I do think I'm gonna do like a final Vlogmas like wrap up at the end of this video. But first things first, I did finish the hot water bottle cover. The pattern is the Maxine hot water bottle cover by Laura Penrose, I believe. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it's so, the pattern's like very striking, and like I'm really happy with my color choices. And like for the record, I was just using yarn from my stash from years ago, and I had like, I would say the collar on the top of the water bottle is a little bit short because I ran out of yarn and really didn't want to break into another ball. So I made it as long as I possibly could, but I think it's still not a big deal. But I think I love the pattern, so feeling really happy with how this turned out. And honestly, like, I might pick this for myself in the white elephant if it's not chosen, because I kind of want a hot water bottle. But yeah, so that is this, nice and done. I pretty much got this done in like one day. I've been a little bit couch bound with some lower back pain, and all I could really do was like sit and not move my body that much. So yeah, feeling really pleased about how that turned out. The spinning for my sister's yarn is underway. The singles are done. I'm kind of surprised how different they look, but I'm spinning a 2-ply DK weight yarn, and I'm spinning it fractal. So I split the braid in half and spun singles from 1 whole half, which is what this bobbin is. And then I took the other half, I split it in half again, and then I split one of those halves in half. So 2/4, 2/4, and another, no, it is 2/4 plus a half. Right? The math isn't mathing, but whatever, you get the gist. So I think I'm gonna get these plied today. The question that remains is, am I going to have time to card up a bat and spin it? And I think the answer is probably not by Christmas. My family is doing our Christmas celebration on Christmas Eve this year, which is a day earlier than we typically do. And that's Tuesday, and it is Thursday, and it is already pretty late in the day. Like, I don't think I'm really gonna get around to doing much else besides plying it. And like each of these, right, which are like about 2 ounces on each of these bobbins, took me about, sorry, brain farted. Each one of these takes me about 2.5 days to spin, which is like a long time. And so by that math, it might take me upwards of like, if I'm spinning extremely diligently over the next few days, I might be able to finish by Monday night if I like sacrifice some sleep. But I also know that I'm gonna be like really quite busy on Sunday, and so I'm probably not gonna have a lot of time for spinning. So I don't know. I think that it will probably be okay if I don't finish it before Christmas, because my sister will be here until like almost the new year, and so like I'll have time. So I think I'll start it, but I think it is unlikely that I'll finish it. But yeah, that is the update for now. So we are plotting. I always make 3-plies typically, 3-ply yarns, so it feels very weird to be making a 2-ply. Something that I've found to be surprising with using a mini spinner is that I find it a lot easier, I don't know, to underply. Like, I feel like a lot of the yarns that I've made on the mini spinner have felt underplied, and like I just feel like for some reason I'm not getting enough twist, and I think that's a matter of me like fine-tuning and adjusting the speed and either feeding on less quickly or any number of things. Like I definitely think it's a spinner issue, not a mini spinner. But I found it I think when I was plying on my ladybug, maybe more intuitive to be able to figure out how much ply twist I needed. With, I guess, like definitely with like the treadling action and seeing how the yarns ended up ultimately. So definitely still a bit of an art. But yeah, this is looking quite nice though, I will say. I'm excited to see how this yarn turns out with the fractal. And then I will likely wet finish. I'm thinking about carding a bat, and I'm feeling some amount of hesitation about the fact that like this yarn that I'm spinning right now is definitely more of a worsted preparation, both in like the fact that it's like comb top and the fact that I spun it. I mean, I wouldn't say that I spun it very worsted, because I do like a short backwards draw and I let a lot of air enter my singles, but it's of course gonna be nowhere near as woolen as just like spinning from a bat, like a carded bat. And so part of me feels nervous about how the yarns will interact with each other with such different preparations. So that's like the only thing holding me back about like, oh, maybe I shouldn't make a bat if the yarns are gonna feel really different. But I think I could also maybe just like try to spin a smoother yarn with the bat. Like I'm not gonna spin the bat long draw, of course. Like I'll probably still do a short backwards, like kind of similarly to how I spun the yarn for my moonfish dicky, like that bat. I'll just split it into strips and then go from there. But I'm feeling like I'm getting the twist right in these singles, so that feels good. Something I also maybe wouldn't have necessarily chosen to do is spin this so soon after I spun the singles, or because basically I spun one set of singles I finished spinning a few days ago, and then the second set of singles, oh my god, I finished spinning last night. And so I always feel like some kind of way about the fact that like one set of singles is gonna feel a lot more energized than the other set of singles. Apologies for any weird interchanging of singles and spindle. But I'm not encountering that so far with this. I'm using my lovely new Lazy Kate, the Ashford Jumbo Lazy Kate. So far, love it. It holds my Hanson Crafts bobbins with ample space. I don't have it completely set up, like I haven't set up like, you're supposed to be able to tension your bobbins just with some like fishing line, I think, which I haven't set up. But I don't usually like a lot of tension on my bobbins when I'm plying, and I honestly just like the drag of the bobbins themselves feels like plenty. Like I'm not having issues with singles flying off the bobbins too quickly or anything like that. I guess I'm trying this like more chatty ply with me kind of segment, which I don't typically do. I feel like I kind of just like to film my process quietly, but no one's home, so I can verbalize to a camera less self-consciously, perhaps. And yeah, I am a chatty Cathy, but I don't necessarily like talking for the sake of talking. But I feel like that was all kind of relevant to the projects to come. But yeah, I always think plying is gonna go so fast, but it's still like, this is probably still gonna take me maybe like an hour and a half. Like of course it's faster than spinning singles, but it's still a lot of yarn. So I think, let's say, I think it's gonna take around 2 hours for me to finish plying all of this. And then I think if I have the energy and whatnot, I might get started on carding the bat tonight so that I can go like straight into spinning all day tomorrow. I might be able to spin at least half of the singles tomorrow if I get an early start. And then if I could finish carding the bat tonight, spinning, I know I said like literally 10 minutes ago that it took me like 2 days to spin each of these singles, like 2 ounces of singles, which is mostly true, mostly true. But I think if I get an early enough start and basically do nothing else besides spin all day, which I will say, like with my mini spinner, I can spin endlessly, just with like being able to put it in a really comfortable ergonomic spot that doesn't like put strain on my neck or on my shoulders or on my feet or knees or anything. Like I can spin for like easily like 6 to 8 hours with minimal, of course, like breaking for food and whatnot. So I think if I can finish carding up the bat tonight, then I think I could hypothetically finish the singles before Sunday is ambitious, but I think if I can finish the singles before Sunday and then ply on Monday, that would be ideal. But I also have to take into account like washing and wet finishing the yarn. So we'll see. But definitely like about 2 ounces, especially of a yarn of this weight, is like my upper limit. of how much I can spin in a day. Yeah, don't even get me started on like singles for fingering weight yarn. Like I can be working on singles for like 4 or 5 days if I'm spinning singles for a fingering weight yarn. But yeah, all right, I've been talking for 10 minutes. That feels like plenty. I will check back in when I am done applying these singles. So here's my lovely almost finished yarn. It's gonna need a bath, and I think I want to set the twist. But I think I was really worried because when I was applying it, it was looking a little bit very muted and very kind of more pastel-y than I wanted it to look. But I think now that it's all applied up and I can kind of see it in all of its glory, I think it's really quite nice. Surprisingly got, pre-wash got about 430 meters, which is a lot of yardage for a DK weight at 100 grams or like 4 ounces. But I'm a pretty light spinner, so it's a very squishy, fluffy, light yarn. So super happy with it. So I think that brings me back to my original dilemma, which is which fleece am I gonna spin with this? And I still feel like this is too dark. Like I just don't feel like the yarn stands out against this. But is this too light? And I think the answer is yes. So I know what I'm doing tonight, and that's carding up a bat. Hello, welcome back. It is a new day. Evidently, I did not do any carding last night. That was ambitious of me. I think I'm feeling like perhaps a self-imposed and needless amount of stress about carding this fiber and spinning it before Christmas. So I've perhaps let go of the idea that I will finish it before Christmas. But I am going to try. I'm letting go. I am figuratively letting go of the pressure to finish this in any timely manner outside of when my sister leaves. And we'll just make progress with what we can. So I have my drum carder here, though I'm not actually really ready to do any drum carding because first I have to pick and flick my locks. So these, like, I like to open them up before I feed them into the drum carder. Otherwise, the drum carder just has to work a lot harder, and I feel like the fiber does not appreciate just being chucked in there. So what I like to do and what I've found, I know some people just like pull it apart with their hands, which I'm sure works and is almost certainly faster than what I do. I would say that I do a combo of both. So for locks that feel like fully intact, like this or like this, I will use my hand cards to essentially flick them open. But for for fluff that doesn't really have a lot of structure, those I might just pull apart with my hands and put them in the carder because I feel like they're already open enough to not need to fuss with the hand cards. So I do kind of a combo of both. And yeah, because I don't have more to say. So we're gonna aim to fill the drum carder. I usually, once all the fiber is prepped and in the drum carder and the drum carder is full, I try to do about 3 passes before I get a really nice even bat. So that is what we are gonna do now. I am no expert at this, I must say. So what I'm gonna do is just start pulling fiber from this. I think this is the cut end, this is the tips. So I put the cut end about halfway down my cards and just kind of put them on there. I haven't done this in quite a while, so I honestly don't even remember what I do. So we'll see. But I try not to overload my cards because that just makes this a little bit ineffective. So then I take my other hand cards and I just start working the fiber. And then transfer that over, work the other side. And then transfer this over to get the last bit of tips that I have not yet. And then put them off, and that's pretty much it. And then I will stick this in the drum carder. And then pass that through. It works for me. This process does take a long time, probably usually a couple of hours to do one whole drum carder's worth. But you know, I found with the jumbo drum carder and with using hand cards, way faster than using, because before what I was trying to do was like I was basically taking, I'm trying to find a mostly intact lock to show you. I was basically taking a lock like this and then just running it through this brush on both sides. And honestly, this is probably also fast in its own way, but I found this to be really tedious for me mentally. And so, I don't know. I'm probably going to alternate using all of these tools, and whatever happens, happens. I am no expert, but yeah, I just still have so much of this fleece that I want to get through eventually. But yeah, so I'm going to do this and feed it through the drum carder and make a bat. So the first pass of the bat is done. This is not actually the full size because I actually started already doing the second pass, but I thought I would just give a quick progress update. It actually looks pretty good, but when you hold it up to the light, it's pretty uneven still. Something I forgot about with this fleece is that there's quite a bit, well, I guess I have no real basis of comparison because this is the first fleece that I've processed myself, but there are quite a few second cuts, so I'm finding it very helpful since I'm doing such thin layers onto the drum carder. Once it passes through the drum carder, the second cuts almost like lay on top, so I can just pick them right out. But yeah, I'm gonna do probably at least another 2 passes on this. Do I like the color? I think so. It is definitely somewhere in between that dark gray and the lighter gray. So feeling pretty happy with how this is turning out so far. Okay, so here is the finished bat. This is after, so 3 total passes through the drum carder. I think it looks pretty good. I'll probably come across some neps and second cuts while I'm spinning, but I'll just pull them out while I spin. But yeah, I don't think this is 100 grams. I think this is probably between 50 and 75 grams. I don't really like overloading the carder to max capacity, but this should be plenty of yarn, definitely for a hat. So yeah, we did it. It did not take that as long as I thought it would. I probably have been at this for maybe an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, but it is a kind of a small bat, but nice. Hello. Welcome back to what will be likely the final segment of this vlogmas. It is December 23rd, so Christmas is now truly deeply right around the corner. I just wanted to pop in with a quick update on that bat that I made, which is that I have now spun it into 2 singles. It was ultimately about 65 grams, so not quite 100, which I feel very okay about, just considering how much yardage I'm able to get out of when I'm spinning. And so I feel like this will be ample yarn, either to be like a main color for a hat or a contrast color for a hat paired with the braid that I spun. So all that's left to do is to apply this wet finish, and then that will be done, and then it will be Christmas, and then Vlogmas will be over. So excellent. Feeling good about what I've accomplished. Yeah. Here are the 2 almost finished skeins. I still need to wash this, but I think they look so nice. The luster on this, the Romney cross, is so, it's like subtle but very striking, I think. So I still need to wash this, but this, I just measured the final yardage after washing, and it came out to be about 385 meters, so it did shrink quite a bit. The pre-wash yardage is about 150 meters. But this was about half the weight. I did spin this, I think, slightly denser than this one, but I think they'll look very nice together. So I think we have come to the end of Vlogmas, which is kind of crazy. It happened really, I feel like the first week doing daily vlogs made time pass so slow and was a bit much, I will say. So I much preferred the weekly vlog, but I will say time just moved at the speed of light these last 2 weeks, as opposed to that first week. I thought I would do a Vlogmas wrap up, but I feel like if you watch any of these videos, you know exactly what it is I worked on. Also, I'm wet finishing that last skein right now, and so I can't show it off. But I feel really good about everything I accomplished. I guess thinking back on my original goals, I wanted to spin a lot more than maybe I did, or a few different things than what I ultimately did. But I'm not like by any means disappointed. I feel like you forget to take into account gifts, and then you have to pivot, and that's just the name of the game. And there will be time aplenty come the new year, and over the next 2 weeks, certainly, for me to work on whatever I desire working on. So very much so looking forward to no longer working on projects with a time crunch. I feel like I learned a lot about what I like and don't like in making videos over this Vlogmas. I certainly do not like vlogging every day, and I am not sure that I would do a daily Vlogmas again. But I feel like that's the conclusion that most people come to when they attempt Vlogmas. But I did kind of like the weekly vlogs. But I do feel like I struggled a little bit with overall direction. And feeling like the vlogs had a plot. Not that they need a plot, it's just my life, right? And it's just me working on projects. But I find that I can meander, and sometimes perhaps it is more engaging and enthralling to feel like there is like forward momentum with these kinds of things. But also, such is the way with making things. You start projects, you work on them for a while, you maybe pivot, you work on other things, you come back to projects. It's just how it goes. If you followed me along for this whole journey, thank you so much. I truly, deeply appreciate it. I don't know what I'll be doing next, but I'm sure to take you along with me. But thanks so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.